What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Look, I have no plan for the videos I was gonna record today, but I was just chatting on stream, right? If you want to check out the streams, follow me on Twitch at Zay After Dark. Link will be in the description down below. But look, I was talking about how I've been trying to build a better routine, right? And interestingly enough, I actually made a video about building a routine. So I thought what I would do today is I want to talk about. I have it right here. This is crazy, right? This is the video, the script for the video, right? The topic points of that all I covered, right? So I'm gonna go over those. I want to talk about them on here, and then I want to actually react to the video, and let's see if it helps us build our own routine, right? Wouldn't that be crazy if past Zay would help future Zay out? Now look, we got the ponytail going on in the back. Let me know if y'all rock with it. So look, let's just go ahead and get started. This is so cool to me, actually. All right. Introduction. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining Zay After Dark yet again for another episode. We still got the same intro. It's just locked into the brain now. Today, I want to discuss the importance of building a routine. Not only that, but how I do it and how I recommend you do it as well. Okay, so main idea number one. Oh, it gets deep. Did I use this as a script? I thought it was just bullet points, but okay. Let's start with the importance of having a routine. I find having a routine highly useful. If you are anything like me, your mind is probably constantly racing. This mind racing can create a lot of confusion. Having a set routine will eliminate a lot of confusion. The goal being to take out as much of the guessing game as possible. He's spitting. I still say this to this day. How should you build your routine? How you choose to format your daily routine is completely up to you, but there are some key points I want you guys to focus on. Make sure your routine is detailed. Remember, we are trying to eliminate as much confusion as possible. You know yourself best, so look deep. Use timestamps. Not having periods of time set to finish each task will allow you to be too comfortable. It will make you feel as if you have all day to complete it. Instead, write down a task, then write down when said task will be completed by. I think this is the part I might be missing right now, because lately I've tried a million different routines, right? And lately what I've been doing is I've been sticking to this 3 task routine where I write down 3 tasks and I try to complete those 3 tasks. But I have not put time limits on each of those tasks. So I think I'm gonna go back to start doing the timestamps. So I think that did really help me get a lot of things done at the time, because it kind of forces you to complete something and get something out there. Keep it consistent. Let's see, what does it say? At this point, you are still in the testing stage, so switching things up to work best for you is okay. But beyond this point, you want your routine to stay consistent. Staying consistent will allow you to adapt to your new routine much quicker. So I guess this is the part that I was missing out on each time, was keeping my routine consistent, because it has not been consistent over the past year or so. So I'm about to go back to that. So I want to let's actually watch the video. Let's watch the video. All right, y'all. So look, we're on the channel right now. We're gonna go ahead and react to how to build a routine, the video I made a good while back. So let's go ahead and filter this to the oldest videos. Dang, look at this, bro. Let's bring back so many memories. How to build a routine step-by-step guide 1 year ago. When was this video uploaded? All right, y'all. Gosh, that was loud. Let me see. April 13th, 2024. I uploaded this video one day before my birthday. So I was 17. I was 17 years old when I made this video, one day off of 18. So this was over a little over a year ago. Let's go ahead and check it out, y'all. Y'all, so check it out. I'm trying something new. We're going to try the back camera and see if the quality is any better than normal. That's the goal right now. Also, I want to give a quick shout out real quick. Shout out to the person who got me this book right here. You know who you are. Shout out to you. I really appreciate it. So boom, I'm gonna keep today's episode real short. Normally you hear me talk about, the power of this and the power of that, and just
Dang,
go really in detail with
I look the
you
same,
know,
but
the
I
videos that
just
I
look
drop.
a little
But
different at the
today,
same time.
we just gonna be talking about building a routine, and I'm gonna keep this video short. Like I said, I'm gonna try to pump them out for y'all. Try to pump out like 2-3 videos a week. That's the goal. So I'm still gonna be dropping gems for y'all, but the content might be a little bit shorter. I got more podcast episodes coming up, so stay tuned for that as well. So, like I said, today I want to talk about building.
Yo, shout out to this Zay real quick, bro, because this Zay was on the grind, man. This Zay was on the grind. I mean, I'm on the grind now still, but this guy, his mind was all over the place, bro. I'm telling you. I didn't have it figured out at this time. I still don't think I have it figured out, but I think at this time, I was just trying everything. I think that's what you should do when you're young, is just try everything and figure out what works and what doesn't. You'll learn pretty quick what works and what doesn't.
A routine. And before I get into, I want to get into how to build a routine today. But before I do that, I want to talk to y'all about the importance of having a routine and why having a routine is so helpful in, you know, achieving your goals and things like that. Now, for me personally, building a routine and writing down and keeping track of everything I do on a daily basis has been the biggest help in holding myself accountable and keeping track of things I have and haven't accomplished, you know, things like that. So that's what I kind of want to talk to y'all about today. So the reason why building a routine is so important for starters, whenever you have something as important as goal setting or completing goals or anything that's super important, you want to take all confusion out of it. You want to take all questioning out of the process. You want to be able to look and completely understand what you're looking at, and that'll help ease ease your mind from thinking it's so difficult, because it's really not. And I had to learn this myself through trial and error. I went through so much trial and error. That's why I think this routine is the best for me. Now, I'm not gonna say I came up with this routine on my own. I definitely took, you know, inspiration from other people, but I think this routine is what works best, and I want to not only break it down to y'all, but show y'all how you can build your own routine.
All right, so even looking back, right, I can critique my own videos. This intro is way too long. We're almost 3 minutes in the video. I haven't really gave any like major advice. I've been like edging on the video for a good minute now,
Give
but
y'all kind of the blueprint at the end. Now, let's get into what this video is about.
all right, so 3 minutes in, let's get straight to it. Come on.
Now, when it comes to building a routine, there is, I believe, 3 steps. I believe there's 3 steps to building a routine that are very important. Now, the way you choose to format your routine is completely up to you, what works best for you, but I think there is a blueprint and a certain guide you should follow that'll help you get the best results possible. And I think you gotta start with step 1, which step 1 is determining your goals that you have. And what I mean by that is you wanna take paper. Now, I will say writing is really an important tool. Like,
Still
writing
is.
will be your best friend. You will do a lot
Still
of writing,
is.
and I suggest you do a lot of writing in your journey of, you know, achieving goals and things like that, because writing is a good way to keep things
Nothing
on your
isn't
mind.
documented. Not a
And
single
writing is a
thing.
good way to hold yourself accountable. Now, there's a
Everything.
theory called the red card theory, and basically, I don't know if you guys have never heard this theory. The theory states that, you know, whenever something is on your subconscious mind, you tend to notice it more. It's like you're living and breathing it. So I heard this, and this is a very great way to think. You know, if I come to you and say, hey, you know, how many red cars have you seen today? You probably would not be able to give me a genuine answer. You might say, I don't know, something, maybe I saw 1 or 2, I wasn't really paying attention. But if I said in the beginning of the day, I said, you know what, I'll give you $100 for every red car you spot today. I bet you by the end of the day, you can tell me exactly how many red cars you saw that day. That is basically the red car theory. So when you have something on your
Real quick, I want to pause it. I find it so interesting because a lot of times, right, I've made a lot of videos since this video, and it's hard for me to notice the progress I've made when it comes to communicating my what's in my head. So it's interesting because I would never think that if you asked me right now, I wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, I believe I made a lot of progress when it comes to being able to articulate myself." Because I thought I was very good at articulating myself at this time, but looking back, I think I have made such a big improvement. I can notice it now. So it's interesting how we can't notice improvement a lot of times because we've just been living day to day. But when you can look back, it makes all the difference because I can now see all the improvements I made. I still think I have very similar mannerisms as I did before, which is interesting. A lot of my mannerisms stuck, but I think I can articulate myself a lot better now. I get my point across. I can kind of tell you what's on my mind a lot better, and I can set a better picture for anybody who's viewing. So I think I've made a big improvement when it comes to speech.
Subconscious mind, and you basically live and breathe whatever it
As
is.
well as the confidence when it comes to speaking. I was doing a lot of whispering. I remember I used to have my video phone. This is why I say no excuses, right? I had my iPhone 11. I had this right here. I would take it and I would set it in selfie mode right here on my TV on my desk. Just like this, right? No tripod, no nothing, and just record it in selfie mode. And I would just be whispering because I was recording these at like 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody's sleeping.
It's just you see it more. It's always been around you, but you just have more awareness about it all. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I built what I built this routine around. So like I said, step one, you want to determine your goals. On paper, you want to write down, let's say, 5 goals minimum. You could do it by the month. You could do it for the year. You could do it in general, but just write down a minimum of 5 goals, right? So once you have those 5 goals written down, that's step one, is determining your 5 goals, right? That's going to be basically the basis of how we build this entire, thing. I hope the audio is good. I'm shooting this in one take, so, and I'm looking up here. I'm seeing that my AirPods is connected and not connected, so hopefully it's good. That's gonna be the basis of our entire routine. Is first building up those 5 goals. Now, once you have those 5 goals, you're gonna go into step two. Step two is basically building the foundation of your daily routine. So what I mean by that,
This makes me so happy to watch, for real.
So all right, so now that we got step one out the way, we got our goals written down, we're gonna build up from the foundation and basically build up to the rest of our routine. So this step two is very important because this is gonna guide how you build your day-to-day schedule, your day-to-day routine. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take those 5 goals, and under each of those goals, you're gonna write down 2 to 3 tasks or things you gotta do to reach those goals, right?
I still teach people this work frame all the time. I'm gonna be honest. This is like one of my favorite things I've ever learned is what you do is you take those goals that you have, the bigger picture, right? Take the bigger picture that you have, and then you split that up into tasks that would help you complete that goal. So let's say my big time goal is to reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? What are the three most, I guess, what 3 tasks would give me the most bang for my buck? That's the first thought. Then I would take those 3 tasks and say, all right, what three things if I do daily will help me reach this, right? If nothing else. Planning should not be on there. What else should not be on there? Recording should not be on there. Why? Because recording videos does not give you results. So what should be on there is post. You're gonna put how many times you need to post a day or a week, right? So let's say post at least 1 video a day, right? That'd be goal, task number 1. Task number 2, post 3 TikToks a day, right? That'd be task number 2. Task number 3, um, share my podcast with 10 people a day, whatever the case may be. It has to be the tasks that actually give you results. So it should not have nothing to do with recording or editing or anything. Obviously, recording or editing is part of that process, but it is only the posting of the videos that actually gets it seen. So that would be an example of a breakdown of a big goal separated into 3 small tasks that lead to results.
So let me give you an example. Let's say you want to make a basketball team, right? Let's say your goal is to make a
Let me get a
basketball
drink.
team. So that's what you're gonna write down. Goal is to make the basketball team. Then underneath that, you're gonna write 2 to 3 tasks or things you gotta do to reach that goal. So obviously you gotta dedicate a certain amount of time a day to practicing and honing in on your skills. Maybe you're going to spend a certain amount of time per day watching film and studying new moves and different techniques and whatever the case. Maybe you're going to work out, get your strength up.
So looking back, I would actually honestly change these tasks, right? So if you wanted to join the basketball team, now definitely spending time practicing is super big one. That would be one of them. Another one would be reaching out to coaches. Reaching out to coaches would be a big one, right? Reaching out to coaches should be one of the main tasks because that's what's gonna get you out there, right? If you want to join a basketball team. So practicing, reaching out to coaches. Then I would work on filming, getting tapes of you actually playing as much as possible to actually give you some kind of something to send a coach to see what kind of person you are, what kind of player you are. So that would be my 3 main tasks probably for this, right? Because you need some sort of networking in there.
Start running daily, get your stamina up, things like that. Stretching to gain flexibility and mobility in your different joints. Just write down things. You could write down a bunch of things. It doesn't even have to be 2 or 3. You could write down a bunch of things that you have to do, right?
Keep it at 2 or 3. If you make the list too long, you start adding stuff that's gonna be a very unnecessary. A lot of times it's so I forgot what the rule is called, but it's something about 20% of the tasks that give you 80% of the results. A lot of times it's the smallest task that gives you the biggest results that you're looking for, right? In a sales business, or like let's say for me as a graphic designer, I could design all day long. I could learn how to design anything. I could watch videos. I could study. I could practice all day long. None of that is going to get me clients. It is the small task of actually reaching out and setting my portfolio that gets me clients. So something that seems easy can actually give me the most results. So that's what you want to focus on. You wouldn't want to focus on too much creating. So I would keep this down to 3 tasks because that forces you to only put what's truly important on there.
And you're gonna do this for all 5 of your goals. So I hope you guys are following along with me if you are looking to build a routine. But whether or not you do, I'm going to give y'all some homework at the end of the video anyway. So hope you're following along.
Shout out to the homework, W teacher.
Step 1. Step 2, write down 2 to 3 tasks you gotta complete to reach those goals, right? That's step 2. Step 3. Now, step 3 is basically building your daily schedule, building your daily
This is
routine.
where the
This
gems is
something
at.
you have to do every morning. This is not a one-time thing. You can do it one-time thing, but I highly suggest you do it every morning because things will change, schedules will change, right? This part is very important on how you do this because it can completely
Set the tone. Is that what he said?
help you in a good way or kind of confuse your brain.
I wanted to see if I could predict what I was gonna say.
Give y'all the best guide on how I recommend you do it. So like I said, step 3 is building your daily schedule. So what I recommend you do is you're going to write down the day, the date, whatever that day is. And this is something you're gonna do every morning. If you wake up at 6 in the morning, you're gonna do it at 6 in the morning first thing before you do anything. You might brush your teeth first. That's about it. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna build your schedule for the day before you even get into your day.
Real quick, I want to pause it right now.
a lot of people don't want to create schedules because it feels like you're being restricted, right? But what you got to understand is, as humans, we were never meant to operate on autopilot. Everything we do is supposed to be intentional. It talks about that a lot in the Bible. I don't know if I have a Bible verse for you guys ready. I think I might though. Mm, I'm gonna find one for y'all. I'm gonna find a Bible verse that talks about it. But everything we do is meant to be intentional. We were never meant to operate on autopilot as humans. So it makes sense that we would plan every second of our day to a T if possible. Now sometimes things are gonna change, but we were never meant to ever be guessing anything. Everything's supposed to be intentional. Where's my sound at? Timestamps, and the reason why is when you times before you even get into your day. I recommend timestamps. You want to do timestamps, and the reason why is when you don't use timestamps and you just write your goals. Okay, I'm gonna do this. By the end of today, I'm not saying that you're not gonna achieve it or it's harder to achieve. It's different for everybody. But I found in my own personal experience, whenever I write down just a bunch of goals, but I gotta complete by the end of the day, I start tending to allow myself room for procrastination and feeling like it's
Facts.
not an urgency to complete whatever I gotta complete. Realistically, you want to get all this done as quickly as possible, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day. You don't want to really just be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, chill, lay down, watch movies, and then I'm gonna do it later. So I recommend timestamps. So the way I have mine set up, I actually write down the moment I wake up. So I say I wake up at 5 a.m. I start my day at 5 a.m. That's At this point in time, I was waking up every morning at 5 a.m. I was going to sleep at 2 a.m., waking up at 5 a.m. I was a freak of nature. The wake up time. Then it goes all the way down to the time that I plan on going to sleep, which is around. This light is hot, bro. Right? So from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., that's kind of my window. Now you want to write down the whole time, because you want to write down everything you plan on doing that day in detail. So what I mean by that, 5 a.m., you wake up. Well, let's see if I have an example here. Basically, the way I have this set up. Oh, he got examples. I have the date up top. I got the moment I started my day. I don't do this on paper anymore. I recommend Google Calendar or something like that. That gives you like digital notifications and stuff. But paper could work too. And the moment I plan on ending my day, right? So you want to put your tasks in order with time frames. So okay, boom. Right here, I started at 2 a.m., right? You don't really want to do that, but I'm just strange. So I started at 2 a.m. I have my 30-minute workout. I told you, bro. I told you 2 a.m., bro. At 2. 3 a.m. I have record this video. So I'm already on track. Yo, that's fire. So I didn't even know that. Oh, snap. Hold on. What happened? Because it can completely. What happened? This is something you have to do every. Want to do timestamps, and the reason why is when you don't use timestamps and you just write your. Hold on. In order, with you want to do that, but 2, 3. I had no idea that this video was actually on schedule to be recorded. So that's fire that I kept up with that. I think I have all these paper schedules actually tucked in a book somewhere. So like that'll be super cool to look back at a little bit. I record this video. So I'm already on track. I have to edit the video right after this at 4. Then at 5, you get the point. Basically, I'm planning out my whole day with timestamps. If you work, you're gonna account for that. You're simply just gonna put the time you clock in to the time you clock out, and you're just gonna block it out. You see, I have it blocked out in pink here. And I worked that day. But after work, you're gonna do whatever you want to do after work, and that's fire, Zay. You're gonna put your sleep. Now, that is step 3. Is building your routine. I didn't go too much into detail. That's pretty much the basis of it. And I also recommend step 4. Step 4 is pretty much part of step 3, but I think it also should be looked at kind of separately. On your daily routine, you want to write down 3 goals you have for the day. 3 goals. It can be separated from your schedule, or it can be part of your schedule, depending on what it is. So, for example,
Bro froze for a minute.
your goals of the day is, okay, today I don't want to today I don't want to get angry. No matter what may go down, I don't want to get angry. So I'm gonna keep my composure today. That's goal number 1. Maybe your goal number 2 is to help somebody. One of my goals for today is I want to help somebody one way or another, right? Maybe goal number 3 is you want to reach 10,000 steps. Just goals that will satisfy you, just to keep yourself constantly, basically just building this mindset in your subconscious mind, and also staying active and just constantly having goals. That's what you want, in my opinion.
Type shit.
If you guys are looking to build a routine like this, or you thought this video was helpful, I'm gonna give you guys a quick summary of how I suggest you build it. So step 1.
Alright, I think we got all the information. Shout out to Zay for the info. You know what I'm saying? That was very insightful, bro. That was very insightful. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to this routine and see how it works for me, and I might report back to y'all. But I'm super happy we got to go down memory lane and just check this out. I was super happy. This is a great video.